Hey everyone, welcome to the KE Report and a company update from Kuya Silver. I am chatting with the president and CEO, David Stein. Now, David, I wanted to get you back on for more of an operational update, mostly at the Bethania project in Peru. The most recent news was the Q1 results, financial results. That was back in May. You talk about ramping up this phase one ramp up to 350 tons per day. Also outline the fact that the company at the end of Q1 had just over $27 million US in the bank. So, David, give us an operational update. How is the ramp up progressing at Bethania right now?
Well, thanks, Corey. Yeah, we'll have our Q2 update out very, very soon. And, things continue to progress with the ramp up. Really the key things we're going to see in Q2 and also Q3 and into Q4 is, the buildup of the, development underground, accessing more areas with mineralized material, adding some contractors into our team, which is really going to help out a lot. We didn't have that in Q2, but that is coming very soon. And, just basically moving things forward so that we can see a big jump in production, towards the end of the year as we've previously guided.
David, I have to ask, with this lower price environment for silver, still historically high, but look, let's face it, silver is half of what it was earlier on this year. Does this 50-ish dollar price environment for silver change any of your plans or change any of the forecasts that you have for the mine?
Not in terms of the production side. Obviously, it will affect cash flow a little bit. But, if you look back to our, PEA of a few years ago, we priced it at $25 silver and we had a, tremendous project with more than, triple digit returns. Obviously, the costs will have gone up a little bit in just due to inflation. But, we know that at much lower silver prices, this project still would work very well. Just, in terms of an operation that can generate cash and at 60 or $50 silver, it's still an outstanding project. So it's not really going to change things very much to answer your question. Certainly, it wouldn't hurt us actually if the fervor died down a little bit in Peru. That's more of a general mining thing, not specific to silver. And, it would probably be a little easier and cheaper to operate there if there weren't so many other mining companies, competing with us for contractors and staff. But we're managing and we're not in any huge pressure because we do have that big cash position that you mentioned earlier. So we're in very, very good shape, regardless of what happens with the silver price here.
So, David, as you ramp up to this 350 tons per day, any forecast you can give us as to when this mine will be cash flow positive for you?
At these silver prices, I would say it'll be early next year. We should be comfortably cash flow positive. So not just making a few $100,000, but comfortably as in millions per quarter of cash flow. And that's obviously a big deal, regardless of what month that might happen, because, when we make the transition to, free cash flow and as you can see with our current financial results, we haven't been burning a lot of cash already. Burn rate was very low even in Q1 with minimal production compared to what we're going to be doing in the future quarters here. We will be able to self-fund our exploration and our growth projects probably from at some point next year and beyond. And that's really when I think market revaluation takes place for any company and including ours.
So, David, with this 27 million that you have in the bank from the end of Q1, do you need to go back to the market or do you have enough money right now to ramp this up to cash flow positive and fund the exploration?
We do. We're very confident with the current cash position that it will get us to, free cash flow positive at the mine, and with, quite a significant number of millions to spare. I don't want to give an exact number because some of it does depend on what happens with the silver price between now and early next year. But yeah, we don't see us spending all that money, over the next 6 months for sure. So we're in very good shape there.
So, David, what does the exploration look like then? We've talked a lot about operations, and you're continuing to ramp up, looking to be cash flowing by early next year. But exploration wise, what should we be looking out for? Because you do have a big drill program this year.
Yeah, we have one rig going right now. We are going to add two more underground. So I think I might have previously said we'll have two underground. We've actually decided to drill with three rigs underground. We have the ability to do that, so we're going to go ahead and do that in the second half here, and then we'll add at least one, if not two more rigs on surface in the next few months as well. So by the end of the year, we could have five rigs going, and so the data will start to trickle in here in the next few weeks and months, and then I think and obviously we'll aim to put out a press release with some good vein intersections and whatever we find are underground in the early drilling in the first few 1,000 meters. But by the end of the year, November, December, I think we're going to have a deluge of data from all those rigs going, and lots and lots of news, and that'll just continue into 2027. I think we'll try and keep most, if not all, those rigs going at site, and because we have so many targets all over the property. So I'm very, very excited about that. It has been slow to get that running, again, just due to market conditions in Peru, I would say, but we're very close now on that, and I can't wait to be able to put out a press release every couple of months on our drill results, because it's such a target rich district that we control. I just know we can put out some really exciting results on a regular basis, not just a one-off. That's important. I think this is just going to be a regular thing for us, very soon, starting, in the next few months, and then continuing into 2027, 2028, and beyond, as we really build up this district that has been vastly underexplored.
Now, what would you say are the main goals of this drill program? Is it kind of to just delineate more ounces, extend mine life here, or are you out there looking at, as you said, district scale, so new discoveries, new areas of the project?
With the underground drilling that we're doing, that's going to be a combination of extending the veins at depth and along strike, so building ounces there, and converting some inferred ounces into indicated would be also it kind of happens at the same time, so that would be a side goal with that. But more importantly, we want to demonstrate that the current resources, which is 5 years old now in terms of the last drill program, is vastly understating the potential there of the Bethania mine. So that would be the goal of the underground drilling. And then the surface drilling, we're going to take the drills to some of the new vein systems that we've found on surface, we've talked about in the past, and they're on our property map on our website. If you want to see the 6 different vein systems, I think we can at least drill one or two of them later this year, and start to announce intercepts at depth that will eventually lead to a resource estimate on those other vein systems as well. I don't want to call them discoveries, because I feel like they're already discoveries. We've already found the veins, and in some cases there's already evidence of past mining. So it's really now a situation where we want to see how thick the veins are, how deep they go, and start building the volume and grade of those veins so that we can not only get resources on them, but also start thinking about planning, the second or third mine in the district to feed the Bethania plant eventually.
All right. So as much as we're talking about Bethania, I realize that is the focus, the production and the exploration going on, but you do also have a portfolio of projects, one in Ontario, the Silver Kings project, and a joint venture in Saudi Arabia. So should we be expecting any news coming from those projects, or is it really just Bethania focus for the rest of this year?
We have been doing some work on those other projects. And so I would expect that we will have an update on those fairly soon. I think the Bethania updates are going to be the priority, and there's a couple coming, here in the month of July in the next couple of weeks. And at which point, we probably look at doing some updates on those two other projects. I think we don't want to distract the market from Bethania, which is really a company maker for us. But at the same time, there is a lot of value in Silver Kings and Hadid that Kuya shareholders should benefit from, and I don't think we're getting any value for right now. So I'm very positive about being able to talk about those and giving some updates in the next few weeks on those as well. And so that people don't forget that we do have these. They are both in their own right great silver projects, and they're both silver dominated projects, which are extremely rare. And it is part of a longer term pipeline that I think makes one of the things that makes us sort of special and undervalued.
All right, David, we'll wrap it up here. Again, David Stein, President and CEO of Kuya Silver. Company is traded on the CSE under the symbol KUYA, on the OTCQB under the symbol KUYAF, and the Frankfurt Exchange 6MR1. If you have any follow-up questions for David, please send me an email. I'll get him to address those in future calls. David, thank you very much for the update, and please keep me up to date on future news.
Thanks, Corey. My pleasure.